Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin, a correction. If you guys like the content, please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Let's go ahead and jump in. So Bitcoin has corrected back down, and currently we're sitting just above the 8-week moving average. Now, the reason why this is important is because it's been this 8-week moving average that we keep more or less holding as support during the bull market. Okay, and I'm certainly not going to stipulate that we will decisively hold it as support this time, because this could be the time that we break it. But what I will say is that, again, if you compare this to 2 cycles ago, it also was holding support at one of those shorter term moving averages. And then once it broke through, we actually ended up going back down to our bull market support band. So I think the important thing to consider in this instance is that, hey, we're testing the short term moving average that we've tested several times this bull market. If we fall below it, we're not that far removed from the 20-week SMA. I mean, from the current prices, we're just another 24% down, and we have not tested the 20-week SMA since October. So testing it would not necessarily be the worst thing in the world. For those curious, the 20-week SMA is currently at 42,404, but by this time tomorrow, it should be probably closer to around $44,000 because we're about to get another weekly close. So it's the same game we've been playing. We've talked before about the idea that it has been a long time since we have tested it. And the funny thing is we might not even test it. We might not even test it in the short term. It has been 189 days. Historically speaking, we do not go nearly that long. In the last cycle, we didn't really go that long, 140 days there. Here was another one that was around 56 or so. This was another 119. We had several that were 2 or 3 months, but none during the last cycle that lasted for 189 days, and we still haven't tested it yet. And this is why I keep saying that I think it's more representative, or more, it resembles more so this past cycle where we more or less just went straight up for a while. Ultimately, the 8-week moving average leveled off, and then we fell below. We actually had a weekly close below the bull market support band, and then ultimately went up higher later on. So again, at the end of the day, each cycle is going to have its own characteristics. None of them are going to be exactly the same. But of course, so far we have not had a systematic test of the 20-week SMA since October. Now, I will say I do believe there's a lot of new money in the space. You can see just how quickly the price of Bitcoin was moving down. We had a wick all the way down to 51K in a relatively short period of time, and then instantly bounced back up, as I'm sure there was a lot of buy orders set down that low. Just recognize how quickly sentiment can change in cryptocurrency, and why having a majority of your portfolio in Bitcoin can help protect you from the downside risk, because we do know a lot of altcoins bled against Bitcoin during that time when it was capitulating. They did recover, since Bitcoin has temporarily recovered at least. But if it had kept going down, then altcoins would have really gotten hammered. So always recognize the downside risk, because it is there, and try not to be too risky about things. Remember, cryptocurrency is already volatile enough. Leverage trading necessarily isn't the smartest idea, because the opportunity cost is very, very high to lose your crypto, especially when we've identified that even in the grand scheme of the market cycle, or in the grand scheme of Bitcoin just in its life cycle, time is on our side, and the opportunity cost of losing Bitcoin is fairly high. The people that were leverage trading Bitcoin at 3K and 4K, and they were losing a Bitcoin here, losing a Bitcoin there, maybe they didn't care so much about it because it was 3K at the time, 4K. Now it would be 55K. So the opportunity cost is very, very high. Now, for those who are new to the market and have never experienced a correction before, because you maybe just got into crypto because someone was tweeting about Dogecoin or something, you need to recognize that corrections are par for the course, and we will have plenty of them, and that it's not all fun and games. We will have to come back down sometimes as people take profits, and that's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. So what I'm looking for, if you want to know what I'm looking for, I'm more so looking to see, hey, can we hold the 8-week? That's what we've held on the weekly time frame since October. If we're unable to hold it and we start coming back down, then I'm looking towards that 20-week SMA, okay, or the 21-week EMA. I'm looking for this region as a potential region if we were to drop that low, where the bulls would come out and try to hold the line. And again, there's no guarantee we even drop to that level, but I'm just saying I do believe that is where the bulls would try to come out and hold the line in the event of a correction to that level. And we also recognize too that, again, our upper regression band has been pretty handy. Just another wick so far, right? Just another wick. We'll continue to follow this. I mean, we're currently at 55.6. The 8-week moving average is at 55.278. So we're sitting just above that short-term moving average. So there's clearly some buying pressure there. We'll see if it's exhausted or not with the sellers, and see if it can ultimately hold. I mean, if it holds, then we know that sentiment can change on a dime again, and we could go right back up. If it doesn't, then we're going to have to dig deep for a while, try to hold support at a lower level, and then try to bounce back up later on. And again, the great thing again is our time is on our side, right? The upper regression band on the price of Bitcoin now is at 90.4K, and it's moving up by about $70 a day. So every day that passed, the upper regression band continues to move higher, and it was the peak of the cycle of last cycle and the cycle before. I mean, we actually had wicks above it during the cycle before. So hopefully this video has been useful. I mainly just want people to relax and to realize that yes, things can get ugly sometimes. Things don't move up monotonically. Just relax, recognize, look at the big picture. Look at the big picture. If you remove all the noise here and we say just look at monthly candles. Let's look at monthly candles. I mean, this has been one hell of a ride. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green in a row. This could be our first red candle, our red monthly candle since September. Okay? I mean, it's been a long time. And we haven't really had 7 green monthly candles in a row in a really long time. You would have to go back to 2013, I believe. Maybe even earlier, in fact. Have we had, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here. Some of these are relatively small. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've had several, we had a 6 monthly greens here in a row, 2 red again. And then we move back up. So again, we could be talking about a double peak cycle. That's always a possibility if we were to get a substantial correction, just like back in 2013. We're just sort of looking at it and seeing if maybe something similar can play out. But regardless, if you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. If you want to check out the premium list, you can find exclusive content and how I'm navigating these markets at intothecryptoverse.com. You'll also get access to the weekly reports and videos, an upcoming Into the Cryptoverse NFT, and more. So make sure you guys check it out. We also have merchandise stored at intothecryptoverse.com if you guys want to buy a t-shirt. Thank you guys for tuning in. Subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye.